This is Abia COVID-19 update. Abia COVID-19 update. The governor of Abia State, Dr. Ikpeazu, received a report on post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan and promised full implementation. That was yesterday. The governor assured that the content of the report of the Abia State Post-COVID-19 Recovery Committee will form the key pedestal upon which Abia will launch into a new economic world. Governor Ikpeazu, who said this while receiving the report of the committee headed by elder statesman Professor Anya O. Anya at his Umuobeakwa country home, restated his vision and commitment towards launching Abia into a new economic order that will be self-sustaining. The governor thanked Professor Anya O. Anya that his level of commitment to the development of the state and noted that the greatest of the state remains the ingenuity of Abia. He recalled the role played by tailors in Aba in the mass production of locally made face masks as their own way of supporting the government in containing COVID-19 pandemic and promised that a convocation of Abia elites will take place to chart the best way of implementing the report to its fullest. We will try and get details of that report on this program this morning. It's Abia State COVID-19 update. Welcome. It's the first edition for a new month, and today is very special. It's a historic day. Today is the first day of October. Well, let's look back in time. Today, 60 years ago, the country was born. I'm talking about Nigeria. So happy Independence Day, Nigeria. My name is Michael Oni. Now, on this program, we highlight daily reports of the Interministerial Committee on the Control of COVID-19 in Abia State. We also look at the governor's efforts in ensuring that the state is safe from the virus. This program is running simultaneously every weekday, Mondays through Fridays, on several radio stations: Flow 94.9 FM, Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM, Buzz 89.7 FM, and Real 99.1 FM. Now let's look at the figures like we do every other day here. The global deaths for coronavirus as captured at 8 a.m. today is 1,018,896, and the number of cases worldwide is at 34,168,420, and of course the number of recovered cases at 65,437. 25 million rather. The number of recovered cases 25,437,787. Now let's look at the global development. Research conducted by Imperial College in London using the results from England's largest community of coronavirus testing program suggests that the rate of infection has decreased in the country, but that the number of infections has increased substantially across age groups and areas of the country. In Spain, residents of Spain's infection hotspot, Madrid, are to be barred from leaving the hotspot except on essential trips under new rules to fight the coronavirus resurgence. But regional authorities said the decision had no legal basis, setting the stage for a political showdown in the area, accounting for more than a third of Spain's 133,604 new cases in the past 2 weeks. And the United Nations International Labour Organization, as the ILO, has said that at least 34 million jobs have been lost in Latin America due to coronavirus pandemic. The ILO urged countries in the region to adopt immediate strategies to deal with the problem. The count was up from the ILO's previous estimates in early August that 14 million jobs has been lost in the region. The organization's director for Latin America and Caribbean, Vinicius Pinheiro, called it an unprecedented challenge. Israel has passed a law that bans mass protests during the country's coronavirus lockdown. That's in a move opponents have claimed exploiting health crisis to support demonstrations calling for Benjamin Netanyahu's resignation as the prime minister in Israel. And in Italy is considering extending its state of emergency over the coronavirus until next year, January 31. The state of emergency currently set to expire mid this month, that's mid-October, gives the government greater powers, allowing officials to move easily, bypass the bureaucracy that smothers much decision making in Italy. And in Africa, South Africa will reopen its borders to all African countries, that's including Nigeria, from today, while barring tourists from around 50 nations with high infection rates. Nations like Britain, France, India, Russia, and the US. The continent's most industrialized economy shuttered its borders at the start of its strict nationwide lockdown. That was on the 27th of March to limit the spread of the virus. Of course, it is Abia State COVID-19 update. Let's look at the figures in Nigeria, and then we'll go straight to the discussion for today. So in the last 24 hours, Nigeria recorded 201 new COVID-19 cases. That was announced by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. And of the new cases, Lagos recorded 77, Rivers State recorded 37, Plateau State recorded 25, 13 in the Federal Capital Territory, in 12 in Kaduna and Ogun recorded also 12, 8 in Adamawa, 7 in Taraba, 4 in Imo, that's neighboring Imo State, 2 each in Kwara and Oshu, and 1 each in Abia State and Oyo State. The new cases bring the total number of infections recorded in the country to 58,848. I take that again, 58,848. And of the total cases, 50,358 have been discharged, while 1,112 have died. Very unfortunate. Anyways, let's go straight to the discussion, but we take a breather, then we'll look straight into that report submitted to the governor yesterday. And of course, we will be doing the analysis of the report this morning on Abia State COVID-19 update. I'm talking about the post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan. And of course, the governor promised full implementation. That committee was headed by elder statesman Professor Anya O. Anya. Of course, the report was submitted by the committee yesterday at the governor's country home, where the governor restated his vision and commitment towards launching Abia to a new economic order that will be self-sustaining. This is Abia COVID-19 update. Abia COVID-19 update. Well, I told you earlier on the program this morning that we will get the details of the post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan. The committee submitted its report yesterday to the governor. Of course, that committee headed by an elder statesman, Professor Anya O. Anya. We have the Honorable Commissioner for Information joining us this morning on Abia State COVID-19 update, Chief John Okiyi Kalu. Good morning to you, Honorable Commissioner.
Good morning, Michael Oni. Good morning, wonderful people of Abia.
All right, you're welcome to Abia State COVID-19 update. Now let's look at that economic recovery plan. Let's look at the need for that recovery plan before we look at the details of the recovery plan. Why that committee was set up initially by the governor?
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, you know that COVID-19 hit every person without warning. And of course, it came with a lot of socioeconomic impacts on our people. Those leaders who are proactive, people like Governor Ikpeazu, will normally want to quickly turn every adversity into benefit. So, as soon as we began to see the signs that this thing was going to be with us for more than 1 month and that it was going to have some profound effect on our life and livelihood, particularly with regards to the economy. The governor set up that team to fashion a path for us to not only survive whatever COVID-19 will throw at us, but to use COVID-19 as a bulwark to launch into the new idea that the government envisioned and for which the government deployed the 5 pillars of development. And I'm happy to report that the report has been received by the governor. I think, I don't know whether I'm permitted to use this forum to disclose what is there, but I see hope in what was presented. I see something beyond COVID-19 survivor, which is that we should now begin to come together as Abia elites to implement that document as if it is our own new Bible in Abia State. If we all follow what the committee did, the committee led by Professor Anya Oanya, which has other eminent Abians as members. If we follow that, I think we should be able to quickly arrive at where we want to arrive at as a people.
Now, in the past, we've had issues with implementation of outcome of committees like this. We want to know, will it be fully implemented by the governor?
The governor intends to implement the reports of the committee, and for that reason, he's already consulting an implementation committee that will soon be announced. And it is that committee that will look into the detailed path to achieve each of the objectives that was stated in that report. Let me say this. Some of the issues raised in that report are issues that we are already looking into doing, actually. For instance, the wife of Governor Mrs. Ikpeazu PhD launched the Akaja Lebutono Mano Mano campaign. Simply put, she launched a campaign to return women in particular in the University of Abians back to farm, even during the lockdown periods.
Okay.
Now, that the committee report indicated that we should pursue agriculture as a major source of survival during the COVID-19 era, for no matter how long it lasts. We should pursue agriculture, that we can never fail with agriculture. And given that we're already on that path, and the governor, aside from what the wife of governor is doing, the governor is also using his good office to empower farmers. I am also happy to report that today Anadian is the national president of Farmers Association in Nigeria. We are doing a lot in agriculture. We are delivering new seedlings to them. We are, subsidizing their use of farm equipment that are leased from Ministry of Agriculture. We are also going to continue to support rice farmers as we've always done. Now, that's one leg. The other leg of the recommendation was to say that we are advantaged education-wise. Our children, Abia children, back to back, for 5 years now, have been coming first in West African School Certificate Examination. That means that the children are challenging the elders to say, look, we are ready to lead the world. Give us what we need. And that committee felt, look, if we are going to go far, we must invest deliberately in education. And they gave the legs of the investment to include investment in infrastructure, educational infrastructure, investment in the training and training of teachers, investment in security, investment in vocational education as a way of turning out the manpower required to drive and industrialize Abia. And they also made a strong recommendation with regards to promotion of small and medium-scale enterprises.
Okay.
Like, again, in that direction, you will see that we're already doing something. So, yes, implementation committee will be in place. They will commence the implementation. But you can see that we are already moving in the direction that we should move. We only need somebody, maybe that committee, to channel the effort properly, and then we'll push forward as a people.
Interesting. We also want to know there was a directive by the government concerning the tuition fees to be collected by both private and public schools, which was agreed to be at 30% of the tuition fees to be collected now that the schools have reopened. But we have issues with compliance in Abia State, especially some private schools. We have names of some private schools that are collecting 30% and making it compulsory for first term and second term of the next academic session to be collected, and it's making it compulsory to be collected.
Let me start by stating that the Minister of Education has deployed the inspectorate division to ensure that we identify those private schools that are in violation, so that we will remind them that the operating license they are holding was given to them by the state government. And I'm going to assure you, without missing word, that the governor has directed that any private school that is in violation of the directive of the government in this regard should immediately be sanctioned. And the sanction includes withdrawal of the license, which means we are shutting down the school. We have received reports regarding Brighter. One is the school they call Brighter. No private school is allowed to collect more than 30% of the third term at this time. And we said, give parents a little time. Let the children continue schooling. Give parents a little time. We are all coming out from a massive economic lockdown occasioned by a health pandemic that none of us asked for. And you are busy trying to exploit the people of Abia State to your own advantage. What we are saying is that the governor has already directed through the Commissioner for Education, Dr. K.C.K. Wangwa, that the inspectorate division move ahead to identify those institutions that are charging more than 30%, charging first, second, and third term at this time, so that we can appropriately disgrace them before the people of Abia State.
All right. Today is Independence Day, Honorable Commissioner, and I understand that as part of the activities marking the Independence Day celebration, in appreciation of the cooperation of the market community in the state government, through the governor, has approved some palliative stimulus package for traders in some selected markets in the state.
Yes, that is correct. And as we are speaking, the teams have deployed already. If you go to Olioba, you will see that the traders are already receiving palliative from the government. It's more or less a stimulus package.
Okay.
So we recall that at some point there was something called trader money by the federal government. I think it was 5,000 naira. In this case, in some instances, we are doing much more than that. We are doing more than double of what the federal government did as trader money, just to support our traders that they were harshly impacted by the lockdown.
Okay.
Many of them, we had to say to them, go home. And sometimes we said, open on Monday, don't open on Tuesday. Okay. All that impacted them. And this is a government led by a humane scholar in governance. Dr. Ikpeazu felt that, there has to be some form of support from the government to this that, and he chose.
We have a message now concerning that issue I raised in the education sector. One Blessing is sent a message here saying, Kare College, Umobia Olokoro, we paid half the school fees instead of 30% government ordered, and they boldly told the parents to get prepared for full payment of the first term after 7 days. That's a week. So we have issues like this recurring. Yesterday, I personally was on private investigation on some of these private schools. Yes.
Tell Mercy that the inspectorate division of Abia State Ministry of Education will visit Kare College as soon as possible.
All right.
I've taken note of the name of the institution.
And there is a particular name also recurring, Resonance College too. Also recurring, they were being asked to pay both first time and second time. So, yes, Honorable Commissioner.
Just do summarize the schools that our people are talking about right now, and forward to my WhatsApp so that I can bundle it to the Ministry of Education.
All right.
We will not allow anybody continue to punish the people of Abia State. But I need to tell our people that COVID-19 is not over. We continue to record positive cases. Everyone must take personal responsibility for his or her protection. We might be going into a second wave of infection if we do not take the necessary measures right now.
All right, Honorable
It's
Commissioner.
not over. People are getting infected every day in our state and in the rest of the country. Nobody should relax his or her guard. Let us take personal responsibility.
All right, thank you very much, Chief John Okiyikalu, for joining us this morning on the program Abia State COVID-19 Update.
Thank you, Michael, for having me, and thank you, wonderful people of Abia State. Happy Independence Day to all of you.
Happy Independence to you too. All right, that's it this morning on the program. Thank you very much for joining us. Many thanks to the partnering radio stations. My name is Michael Oni. This is Abia COVID-19 Update. Abia COVID-19 Update.